Hey mi gente, it's Julian Steve. You already know my name, but if you're new here, hey! Today we're going to be talking about my series, part 3 of my series, being Latino enough. And in this portion of the series, we're going to be focusing on my education history within the Department of Education when it comes to the Latin American community. And you guys are probably wondering what you mean by Department of Education. I'm gonna explain it a bit more in the video. Okay, mi gente, okay. We're going to start now. Some of you are probably wondering, what is considered a Latin American country? Well, I'm going to explain this a bit more in detail compared to the previous videos, and I'm going to do that right now. According to Britannica, Latin America is genuinely understood to consist of the entire continent of South America in addition to Mexico, Central America, and the islands of the Caribbean whose inhabitants speak a Romance language. The peoples of this large area shared the experience of conquest and colonization by the Spaniards and Portuguese from the late 15th through the 18th century, as well as movements of independence from Spain and Portugal in the early 19th century. This is an alphabetically ordered list of countries in Latin America, North and Central America: Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama. South America: Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Peru, Uruguay, Venezuela. Caribbean: Cuba, Dominican Republic, Haiti. Dependencies and constituent entities: Guadalupe, Martinique, Puerto Rico, Saint Barthélemy, Saint Martin. When we get a bit further in the video, I'm going to explain why French Guiana, Department of France, Guyana, and Suriname are not considered Latin American countries in a few. Now I'm going to be naming the countries that I knew that were Latin American countries between elementary school and or up until my high school years: Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Venezuela, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Puerto Rico, Argentina. Awesome. 19 countries that I knew growing up between my elementary school years to my middle school years to my high school years. Now we're going to start off with my education. So I've been in public schools most of my life. I've been in public schools since I was in pre-K pretty much. I wasn't properly taught on other Latin American countries. Most of the Latin American countries that I knew about were from my family educating me on, and or me watching the news, specifically in Spanish, or me trying to watch soccer games with my family, and then we hearing certain teams that are a part of Latin America. Certain countries I knew about when I was in high school more about them being considered Latin American. For example, Brazil and Haiti. These two countries, I kind of found out more about them when I was in my high school years. and I educate myself a bit more, and of course I've asked questions to my family. Sometimes my family didn't really know the questions as what the answers of my questions about these countries, or whether they're considered Latin American countries or not. And that's how we hear. That's how we hear. And I do blame the education system a bit because, yeah, sure, my family's supposed to be educating me and whoever's around me if I don't really know things. But I feel like if we were more taught well during our adolescent years, specifically me, my classmates, and other people who are Latin Americans or not Latin Americans, will be more knowledgeable when it comes to other cultures within the Latin American community, because I always grew up not really knowing about every Latin American community and not knowing even some countries existing within Latin America, which is embarrassing, but we're going to talk about that more in a bit. If I was taught more about different countries within my global history courses and or my US history courses, I maybe would learn more about what to expect within Latin America, or at least like a bit more details, not to go too much into it, because I understand maybe that's not in the criteria, but this is important. We should know these stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if I'm not the only person who happened to went to public schools in New York City that has a similar experience as mine, and not knowing much about Latin American countries or countries in general. But you know, this video is about Latin America, so I'm just focusing on Latin America right now. But if you have a story or something similar, comment, okay? Comment. I want to hear your opinions. I do not know some other countries too, due to my education and of course my ignorance in my part, and or my family's ignorance, because we not perfect, okay? We're not perfect. It's bad. Progression, guys, progression. I found out about the following countries either in 2022 or 2023 were Latin American countries while in college: Guadalupe, Martinique, Saint Barthélemy, Saint Martin, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia. Wow, 7 countries. Not bad, not bad. I do want to point out that French Guiana, Department of France, Guyana, and Suriname are not Latin American countries. You can read this article where they talk about why these 3 countries are not considered Latin American countries. And another reason why I didn't really know certain countries, like the ones that I've named right now, on their Latin American status until when I was in college or now, is because of the fact that the media plays a factor. And in this case, when it comes to Latin American media or any media in general within the United States, they always focus on the main Latin American countries that are common and are recognizable. And I'm doing air quotes because I feel like we're diverse, us Latinos, but we don't like to acknowledge other Latin American people. We usually like to focus on Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, Mexicans, Ecuadorians, even El Salvadorians too. Like, you rarely hear about, I mean, you start to hear more about Panama, but you rarely hear about Nicaragua, Honduras, Colombia. And mind you, Colombia is a big country. Argentina, even though I'm starting to see more things about Argentina, especially with the soccer matches and all that stuff. And there are a bunch of more countries I can name that are not within the media, or there are not enough there are not enough celebrity status or politicians who are known compared to politicians within the United States or certain countries within Latin America that are known globally. And I feel like we should have more diverse representation in the media. We shouldn't just have people from the main countries that I've used as examples that people would usually be like, okay, that's a Latin American, or that's a Latin American country, or wow, that's a Latin American dish. As if these are the only countries. There are a bunch of other countries in Latin America. And another factor that plays into this is the fact that the United States has a narrow viewpoint of who are from certain countries in Latin America, and that's because of generalizations of who is considered a Latino, or who they usually see quote unquote crossing the borders or coming to the country legally or illegally, or anything in between, like I previously mentioned about the borders, but I don't want to go into too much detail on that. You cannot just think of people or what you see within the media, or what your perception is of what you think is a Latin American. This is why I believe that the media plays a huge factor on how we view things, but also how we interpret what the term Latino means, or Latina, or Latine means. Concluding statement and the outro of this video. I believe that we as a society, we can make a bunch of changes, but in this case, New York City Department of Education, please do a better job with your education system. Please make sure to have a broader viewpoint of what you educate to children. We shouldn't be talking about small details about Latin America or countries in general, continents, and so on. I feel like our viewpoints would be better on our knowledge about Latin American countries and about what is considered a Latin American. And I believe that if you broaden your education system, we could achieve this. If they do not do anything, aka the New York City Department of Education, Eric Adams, and whoever is the head of the Department of Education in the city right now, I believe parents need to do better on educating their children about Latin America and being more willing to do their own research if they don't know any other Latin American countries, like how I did. Because now we at this point where I can educate you all about Latin American countries and about my experiences being an Afro-Latino from the Bronx. Ding! Hey, this is Editing Jenny and Steve. I'm currently working remotely, recording this portion of the video. I just wanted to say this because I forgot to mention this in the freaking concluding statement. To sum up, the heritage of Latin America blends indigenous, European, African, and Asian peoples, languages, and cultural traditions. There is no one Latin America or Latino or Latin American culture. Rather, it is all these things. Okay, back to the outro. Thank you so much if you made it this far in this video. I appreciate you. Be sure to like this video. Please comment your thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts below. Okay, mi gente. Okay, mi gente. Okay. Thank you, and